This is my father, the real King Edward VIII. This is my grandfather, George the Fifth. And this is the brother. Wouldn't you like to have a brother like that stole the crown? He helped the Illuminati take down my father, the Freemasons, and with character assassination and total lies. This is the brother, George the Illegal Sixth, Elizabeth's father. So this is the fake monarchy I'm talking about. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, and my father was always married to my mom. He was still alive. I don't, his life and my mom's must have been hell. They took his name, actually, the Illuminati, and then when I was born in 39, that's when this picture was taken here. I hope I'm not moving around and this goes up. George V, and this was in 39, the year I was born. My father didn't give up the monarchy or being king as Roosevelt, the sorry sot. That was part of the whole thing. The takedown of my dad and kidnapping me, all this mess. He's the global government that came to be after they took my father down and kidnapped me. It's all the illegal treaties and all this that later formed the United Nations in New York City here, USA. That's it. With the Rockefeller that controls your press, just look at your press and even in NBC in NBC specifically, they have this thing up over the door, not outside. This is Rockefeller Plaza. They put it right in everybody's face, seriously. So anyway, they were planning my kidnapping here. Roosevelt appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England for that specific reason. 1936, England kicked him out, or the UK did in 36 to what? 46. Well, there was some treaties and stuff during that time. And by the way, JFK used to fly in, and the older brother would fly in to the embassy in England. It's almost like they took it over then, right? They kidnapped the monarch, me. They take down my father, and my father's married to an American. My aunt's Georgia O'Keefe, and now then history. And I'm going to turn this around a minute real quick. Let me go back to this. This is when I ran on a campaign. I was writing about mind control, the Illuminati, and it's April of 84. Mr. Flint was shot by a program shooter. And it involves the Tesla files, which I put up here, and being able to cure an illness or create one, like the Ebola, and then you take it to South Africa and you pretend you're the friend and the United Nations. Remember when Jimmy Carter made Reverend Andrew Young, who became mayor later, but to the UN, and all this going to South Africa and all that, and me telling about stuff that's suddenly being told now that I'm not going to go back into the Center for Disease Control, how you can cure illnesses or create it, like AIDS, Ebola. Okay. And now then, some of them are coming out and mentioning the Center for Disease Control and all that. They don't mention me, none of this, because they'd have to tell about my father and the takedown of my father in Great Britain. Such a lie. And the joke is they kidnapped the monarch, me. And that's a special relationship. It's not the fact that they're friends. They kidnapped the monarch and got me over here and took down my father. That's their joke, the special relationship. Let me turn this around. I'm going to try to talk into it now and hope it doesn't get messed up. Okay, the sound. I wanted to put this up, though. Here I go again, going around it. Here's Wallace with a double. And this is not the one they usually use that they try to say is my dad, which is a lie. If you look at them close enough, there's no way in heck that that's my father. But people have bought it, and they're still telling that today. And Elizabeth, the fake monarch, and Charles, and Camilla, and William, and Kate, and Harry, and then little George, and all that are fake. Okay, here's Wallace, and here's one of the doubles. Um, Look at him. He's no more. Take this picture. Okay, he's no more King Edward the Eighth, and they're saying he's a double right here, married Wallace Simpson. Get my drift? He's no more King Edward the Eighth than the other one that is used to marry Wallace. So get my drift? That's, yeah. I wish I'd thought of that way back. That's these. Anyway, I'm not show you that. Okay, I've made a mess out of this one. I just deleted the other one. This is a cheap in. I'm not trying to excuse my ability to make a video, but it's a little rough. Trying to keep it together and hold it up here so I don't have my nose in it and my lack of teeth, but I'm sure Elizabeth has, and I've gotten into that. I wanted to put up, and if I'm rambling, why, okay. I put up yesterday, and I wish I could have put up the video with it, or the pictures, not the video, the pictures out of Google Plus, but it tears up my space. I don't have much in this little $32 phone. Oh, and here I go round and round with it, and anyway, get to the point. My kids used to say, Mom, before you forget the point. Okay, I wanted to put these up, and I couldn't, because pictures, that would have helped. It showed Elizabeth, and it was talking about all her jewels she flaunts. Well, she's a fake. She's not the real monarch. She's a traitor. She's my cousin, I hate to say it, and she's always known about me. She was 15 when I was kidnapped. And by the way, when I was born in 39 and they had to kidnap me, they didn't have to, you know what I mean. Wouldn't you like to have a brother like this? Loving brother, isn't he? George the Illegal Six. Helped steal the monarchy with lies, helped kidnap his niece, who's Victoria II. That's me. Heir to the crown. I'm the real legitimate one the day I was born. My father, Edward VIII, had proper legal papers drawn up because they forced him out. He was married to my mom. Heaven on earth, he could not have married. Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to this. Good point I made after all these years. Do you think, would you buy this as Edward VIII? Heck no, you wouldn't. Yet you all have. People have. Well, I don't mean you all. Excuse me, somebody get mad at me for that. All these videos that are still going up, and I look back and they're total lies. You got the Church of England that got in on taking my father down, because my father told the truth. He had integrity. And I guess that's just, I might as well say this, because the Church of England helped in my kidnapping. I was christened in the Church of England, and this photo is almost identical to the kidnappers, the two men. Well, JFK helped kidnap me and bring me to Cortland, Alabama, near Moulton, and then NASA, the space industry. How do you think that all began? Anyway, let me get to this. The reason I really put this up, first of all, I wish I had those photographs of, let me try to keep this up within some kind of order here, of Obama, and Elizabeth had this brooch on, and she wears different ones, and they were saying that in this article. It would have helped if I could have put it up. And I forgot how much money they said was paid for this brooch, but the Obamas paid for it, and they even told where they bought it. So that's easy to Google. But it was during the time that Trump was there is what they were saying, and that Elizabeth was making the sign language stuff, or signs to Obama. And anyway, you'd have to go back and get it. So what I tried to point I made, and I guess I'm bouncing around again, was that in 2 years ago, is it a little over 2 years, Obama spent the night, he and his wife, Michelle, has spent nights with Elizabeth and her family in Buckingham Palace. But this happened to be a couple years ago, and it was little George, Okay, it's supposed to be heir after William, and William after Charles, and it's all the fake monarchy. They should be handcuffed. They're criminals and traitors and liars and fake. Instead of people loving them and adoring them and can't wait to see what Meghan now is wearing tomorrow. Want to see what I'm wearing? Well, I don't think anybody would. My rags, few I have, but I have to say this. No, this is. I'll go ahead and say it. It's a nightgown. A nice lady bought me. Okay, and some things that recently, not before, except once, did a relative contact me last Christmas. Did anybody give me any? But these two people have given me a few things the last few weeks, and this is one of them. It's comfortable, so excuse me, I'm wearing it. um. Anyway, now I'm getting away from all of it, I guess, and so I'm just going to get back to this. So you've got Obama spending nights in a couple of years ago in Windsor Castle, and he took a little rocking horse to little George, for his birthday. And I've put up pictures of this. I don't have it out right now, but my son Mark is the heir after me. He would be the King of England and then Scott. Okay, not William and Harry. Anyway, I thought that was something, a little rocking horse, and there was a picture of my son Mark when he was about 2 years old on a little rocking horse, and I wish I had it out right now, and I don't. But I thought that was odd. But in this, after they spent the night there, this is when Zuckerman, whose grandfather is the Rockefellers, part of the people kidnapped me. He is the founder of Facebook, where I thought, I can't get an attorney or anything to represent me. I thought that I'd put it up on YouTube and Facebook and tell the truth and see if anybody could help. Anyway, he's talking, now he's the founder of Facebook, and odd, and here I am turning the information on who I am right back to the people who kidnapped me. His Illuminati family and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy clan. JFK helped actually in my kidnapping and bringing me to Moulton. Now then, if I haven't forgotten where I'm going here, Obama, that's when they started, after he was in the Windsor Castle. I can hear dogs next door. I wonder if they can hear me. They have puppies in the room next door, brought them in. Anyway, suddenly they're talking about fake news. Are they going to try to tell me this is fake news? I've told nothing but the truth, so help me God. And all these, and you can't even get it all off. I'm sitting back here at the back. I'm trying to get away so nobody likes to hear it. They really don't. Most people don't. Okay, Obama, and he come out with the fake news, and suddenly they're rearranging things and all this. In essence, they're going to shut out the truth. They don't want to tell about taking my dad down, and my mom's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, an American, and now then Meghan has married Harry, and that's the fake monarchy, and she's from America, and they're making all this over her father didn't get to go to the wedding. How about my father? How about my father and my mother and what's been done to me and my sons? The real monarchy, if you're going to have monarchy, and I hear that some people are wanting to rid of the monarchy. So I get my father for sticking to his guns, never married Wallace, had any friggin' thing to do with the woman. He was married to my mom, and they were still alive October of 86. Married. They were old by that time. Excuse me, I'm old now, but, but they were still alive and together. And I can imagine the hell they had, because their only daughter, me, and I am their only daughter, was kidnapped and brought over here and put in hell. And their hands tied is exactly what happened. Remember, his family were in on it. Look how, this is Elizabeth's mother. I want you to look at this. Please look at this. Now, I know when I turn this around, I'm going to have to get up and shut up, because I don't know who's listening outside. I think somebody is. Look at this woman. This is Elizabeth's mother. How plump and proper. She thinks she looks, her little legs are crossed. Look what you did to my mom, Elizabeth, and my dad, you phony. Look at how proper, like she's just proper lady, all dressed, sitting by Roosevelt, this cold-blooded killer who helped in my kidnapping, and next to his mom, and next to the illegal George VI, Elizabeth's father. Look at all this nice look at the White House. Isn't that just hunky-dory? Okay, now where'd I get to? I know this is going to bounce around again. Let me put it up. Excuse me. Where was I going with it? I told about Obama and the brooch, buying the brooch, and there was other things I was going to tell. Let me get to this. I told about Larry Flynn. I was in campaign. I wrote about mind control murders, the Tesla files, and all that. And he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, when I was doing the book in 78, and never got it published because I was almost killed. Had two letters from the FBI, and all this happened. I was almost killed April Fool Day, taken illegally across the state line, and then me and my children separated to where, I won't say anything else about that. I hope one day I hope they're safe. But Mr. Flint did a article in April of '84, and he says here that I know who's responsible for his shooting. So I was out at his home in Bel Air. He lives in Beverly Hills now, but in Bel Air, in October twice of '83 during the campaign, he helped me, and the plane went down the KAL. And by the way, I was telling a lady who has been interested, but I was telling her about, well, they can, with mind control, you can program the pilot to go into the ocean and kill 260 plus people went down, and from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, and supposedly McDonald was on the plane, a passenger. Well, I've been told, whether it's true or not, he wasn't. It was a takedown of that plane just to... So is McDonald really dead? I doubt it, unless he's died since then. Former President Nixon was on that same plane, and they took him off just prior to takeoff. Okay, now I want to go back to Bob Woodward. Nobody's telling this that I'm telling you. They're not telling, because they'd have to tell about the takedown of a beautiful man. My wonderful father and my mom and my children that have to tell all this mess. So when they're calling names and everything, Bob Woodward and the Washington Post, you don't want me to tell what happened when I went to the Washington Post with all this back in 1980, 82, early 82, during the Hinckley. John Hinckley, who was programmed, okay, and who had dinner with, his parents did, with the Bushes the night before Reagan was shot. And Hinckley was supposed to have shot him. Well, he was programmed, just like the person that shot Flint. Goes back to the Tesla files. Where am I going with this? I'm going to quit here for today anyway. It bothers me listening to Obama come out the last few days, same speech almost, condemning President Trump and inferring this, and people are inferring that about his mental health, which is a bunch of bull. The man's withstanding. Nobody else could do it. I can just about guarantee you that